The story begins with Sarah, who lives in a small village with her father Kelvin and her younger son Henry. This family runs a small farm together. They work on the land and take care of their animals. Nowadays, Sarah is busy teaching her son Henry to farm. This art has been going on in their family for many generations. It's a quiet evening, everything seems normal. Sarah is cooking dinner with her father in the kitchen, and Henry has gone to the farm to take care of the hens. There is peace in the air and the village is filled with familiar sounds, but this peace suddenly breaks. Henry sees a strange man near the hens. That man looks very sick. His hair and beard are so long that he has not been able to concentrate for years. His clothes also look very strange and old, which are not of this time at all. Out of fear, Henry runs away from there and goes straight home. Henry tells his mother in a frightened voice. Hearing Henry's warning, Sarah immediately picks up her shotgun and runs towards the farm. That man is still standing there. His strange face and old clothes are seen in the light. Sarah slowly moves forward. His voice is strong. "Who are you, and what are you doing on our farm?" Hearing Sarah's questions, the man seems as scared as she herself feels. The man shouts, "I thought this was my home." There is confusion in his words, and his worried face clearly shows that he does not understand where he is. Sarah, curiously and cautiously, turns on the nearby floodlight so that she can see that man well. As soon as the light is on, that man moves back out of fear. His eyes grow bigger with fear. He shouts, "What kind of magic is this?" His gaze falls on Sarah and he says, "Are you a witch?" Sarah is surprised. She understands that this man does not know anything about electricity. His confusion increases. Now Sarah feels that this man has not only forgotten the way, perhaps his mind is also not working properly. A deep wound is visible on his forehead, which may be the cause of his strange behavior and confusion. Sarah lowers her gun a little but still remains alert. She calls out to her father, Kelvin. Both of them take that man inside the house and feed him to calm him down. That man is eating with such hunger as if he has been hungry for many days. Sarah slowly takes care of cleaning the wound on his forehead. She feels that this wound may be the cause of his memory loss and strange things. Sarah talks to that man lovingly and tries to get information from him. Gradually, the man remembers his name. "My name is Rip," he says with a little embarrassment. But Rip has not yet understood how he got to his farm or why his memories are so scattered. Still, Sarah gets a little peace of mind that now he has some information with which he can move forward. In this strange situation, Sarah asks for help from her friend Teddy, who is a local police officer. Teddy secretly has feelings for Sarah, but he knows that Sarah considers him just a good friend. After hearing everything from Sarah, Teddy suggests that Rip's fingerprints can be matched in the police database to find out his real identity. When Teddy reaches the farm, Rip is surprised to see the police car immediately. He gets scared and moves back. Sarah and Teddy look at each other but do not ask much questions. Teddy takes Rip's fingerprints and searches the police system, but does not find any records, neither in the national database nor anywhere else. When he does not understand anything, Teddy takes Rip to the hospital for a medical checkup. The doctor does a very good checkup on Rip, but what he says is shocking. The doctor says that there is no injury on his head and his memory seems to be absolutely fine, although he is perfectly fine physically. Teddy gets even more worried because he has no other way to find the answer. Teddy decides to leave Rip in the hospital for observation all night, but Rip feels a lot of anxiety in the unknown environment there. Bright light, strange machines, and the noise of the hospital staff scares him. He asks strange questions again and again, as if he is trying to understand those machines. By morning, Rip's fear increases so much that he leaves the hospital without telling anyone. He goes straight back to Sarah's farm. While talking to Sarah, Rip says what is in his heart. His voice is full of sorrow and anxiety. He says that he does not understand how he got here and what is going on here. But one thing he knows for sure, he does not want to go anywhere else from here. Hearing Rip's words, Sarah's heart melts. She gives him permission to stay in her house and arranges food and accommodation for him. A little later, he comes to Teddy's farm. He has been looking for Rip since he ran away from the hospital. He shares his worries with Sarah, but there is no record of what he does. "I don't know, he could be dangerous or maybe a terrorist." But Sarah says with confidence, "I don't think so. I think he is a good person. He will stay here until his memories come back." During the conversation, Rip mentions his incomplete memories. "I fought a war somewhere in America," he says while remembering. This increases Sarah's curiosity because a relative of his neighbor had disappeared during a war. In the hope of finding the relationship, Sarah and Kelvin help Rip by cutting his grown hair and beard. But when everything is over, it becomes clear that Rip does not look like that stranger at all. The mystery is still made, but during this time, Rip is proven to be hardworking and reliable. Seeing his dedication and work, Sarah and the rest of the people are very impressed. Sarah decides that until Rip's memories come back, she will give him a job. Sarah and Kelvin together prepare a small cabin in a corner of the farm where Rip can stay. When Rip goes to see the cabin, he stops suddenly. as if there is a secret hidden in the cabin that only he understands. "This is my home," he says with full confidence. His voice is trembling. Sarah is surprised to hear this. "How is this possible? This cabin has been here for many generations." Rip insists on going inside and Sarah also follows him. Coming inside the cabin, Rip looks around and says that a lot has changed inside. His eyes go to a wooden beam and he points to the slight marks on it. Rip says these are Roman numerals and begins to explain. "When I was 8 years old, I carved my date of birth and my initials here. Everyone is surprised because those marks are still the same." Sarah looks at those markings carefully. The date that she carved according to Rip is 1756. That is 266 years old. Hearing this, a cold wave runs through Sarah's body. The cabin and its carvings are older than her father's birth. Rip is also surprised and tries to understand the truth. He asks slowly. It is still 2022, his voice is full of disbelief. Rip was assuming that it was 1787. This truth is out of his control and he falls unconscious. Sarah and Kelvin keep looking at him, completely in shock. When Rip comes to his senses, Kelvin gives him a book and says this is the story of a man named Rip Van Winkle. "Do you have any connection with him?" Rip gets curious and starts reading the book. And as soon as he finishes, he shouts, "This is Rip Van Winkle. This is my father." Sarah is surprised to hear this and says, "How is this possible? Rip Van Winkle is an imaginary story, a fiction." But Rip is adamant. As he reads more, his memories come back. Gradually he tells his story. "When I was young, my father left us, and I had to take care of the house and everything. Life was not easy. With time, my mother died and I had to marry my sister to save the house. When I was 17, I was called to fight for American freedom. During the war, I was shot, but I survived. After the war, I went back home and started farming again, but by then, everyone whom I loved had left me. I had no one with me, I was all alone." Rip stops while talking, as if he is feeling the burden of old memories. And then he says, "One day, my father came back suddenly, but the strangest thing was that he looked exactly the same as he did when he left us. Not even a day's bad influence was on him. My father told an impossible story. He said that he got lost in the jungle. He climbed the mountains and found a cave. In that cave, he drank a strange liquor and then went to sleep. When he woke up, it had been 20 years. Rip says, "The villagers did not believe him and to be honest, I did not either. But he kept swearing that it was true. In the end, my curiosity did not let me rest. I decided that I would go and see for myself. I went to the jungle, climbed the mountains and found the cave there. Exactly as my father told me. I went inside and it started raining heavily outside. I thought that the storm would calm down a bit and then I would leave. But when I came out of the cave, everything had changed." Rip stops and takes a deep breath and then speaks. "That same night when I was roaming and trying to understand everything, I met Henry." Looking at Rip, Sarah and Kelvin, Rip says, "Now I understand. That cave is the door to a portal. I went into that cave in 1787 and came out in 2022. When I first came out, I did not remember anything. But now everything is clear." Sarah finds it difficult to believe it. "This is a great story, but I still do not believe it." Sarah says, "We need the real answer. I will take you to the city soon and get some medical tests done." Even if Sarah is still suspicious, she cannot deny that Rip has become a part of her family. He helps with the farm work and has become a part of their routine. He also helps Rip Henry, a young boy who was bullied in school. Remembering his time's self-defense techniques, Rip teaches Henry how to stand up for himself. Henry, who always missed his father, finds joy and peace in Rip's mentorship. A new confidence has come into his life. Sarah notices how happy Henry is now. Little by little, she begins to feel an attraction towards Rip. Meanwhile, Rip's crops have grown well. He helps in selling them and slowly wins the hearts of the community. Everyone is very impressed with his work and nature. A few weeks later, Sarah has to go to New York for her doctor's appointment, and she takes Rip with her. When they reach New York, Rip is surprised to see the big buildings. He looks at the art of construction of those tall towers and people and says, "How much brain and courage must have gone into making all this?" In the medical facility, doctors scan Rip's full body and hypnotize him to know the truth of his story. Even after hypnosis, Rip repeats the same things. Without any doubt, his story still seems to be absolutely true. The scan results are even more surprising. An old bullet is stuck in Rip's body. After a rib scan, Rip tells him about the bullet. "This bullet hit me during the war." When experts examine that bullet, they find that it was made around the 70s, which makes Rip's story even stronger. Sarah becomes even more curious about Rip's story and introduces him to a physics professor. The professor listens to Rip and explains a theory. When a storm comes around that cave, the specific elements there react with each other and form a temporary wormhole. This wormhole creates a way to go beyond time. The professor goes on to say, it is possible that when Sarah found Rip, she accidentally triggered that wormhole which brought Rip here from his time in today's time. Hearing this, Sarah makes a decision. She says, if Rip can go back in time, I will help him. During the next storm, we will find that cave. But by the time that storm comes, Sarah and Rip get closer to each other. In Sarah's heart, Rip's emotions are getting deeper and deeper. Thinking about this, she is worried that Rip may have to go back and she may lose him forever. Rip thanks Sarah from the bottom of his heart. "Whatever you have done for me, I will always be grateful to you for that." A relationship is formed between the two which breaks the walls of time and takes its place. Sarah slowly tells Rip her story. She says, "Henry's father never married me. His death was before Henry's birth. After his death, I left the city and came back to my village to live with my father." After meeting Rip, Sarah started to feel her emotions deeper and deeper. One day, she tells Rip the truth. "My feelings for you are getting deeper and deeper with time." Similarly, Henry also feels a special bond with Rip. He no longer feels the absence of his father because Rip has come into his life like a mentor and protector. Rip also feels Sarah's feelings. He likes Sarah's self-dependence and courage, which was rarely seen in the women of his time. Rip and Sarah sit and talk all night, sharing their stories and understanding each other better. The next day, Sarah takes Rip on a city tour. She shows him a place which he had never seen before. Rip looks at every scene with surprise and joy. When the two return to the village, Sarah decides that she will host a party for the whole community. During the celebration, Sarah and Rip spend time with each other, laugh, joke, and talk. Their coming close to each other is not hidden from anyone. Teddy, who has emotions for Sarah, feels jealous when he sees them together. On the same night, when Rip is preparing to return to his cabin, Sarah runs after him full of emotions. She stops Rip, flows into her emotions, and kisses her and confesses her love. But the two do not know that Teddy is following them. From a distance, he sees their moment. Seeing all this in front of his eyes, Teddy's anger starts overpowering him. In his anger, Teddy enters Rip's cabin and confronts him. He blames Rip. "You are trapping Sarah in your false stories. Everything about your past is a lie." Teddy Henry's school bullying also holds Rip responsible. He says, "There are rumors about you and Sarah in the village. You have tarnished her reputation. You have caused a lot of trouble for Sarah and her family." He says to Rip, "If you really care about Sarah, then you should stop following them." Teddy's words have a deep impact on Rip. He starts thinking that maybe it is wrong for him to stay here. The next morning, Rip writes a goodbye letter to Sarah and leaves. When Sarah reads the letter, she breaks down. She realizes that she has truly fallen in love with Rip. That day, the sky is covered with clouds and the effect of the rain is visible, but Rip has already decided to leave on his terms. Sarah, Kelvin, and Henry decide to look for Rip. They quickly head towards the jungle to bring Rip back. As they go deeper and deeper into the jungle, Henry's mind becomes restless and sad. Kelvin decides to take Henry back home and allows Sarah to continue her search for Rip. Sarah, without stopping, moves forward with her emotions and courage. After passing through the dense jungle, she finally reaches the cave where Rip is alone, sad and lost in her thoughts. Sarah runs to her and her anger and pain burst at the same time. She asks with tears in her eyes, "Why are you leaving us? How did you take such a decision?" Rip answers with a deep breath, "Teddy told me that I am a burden for all of you. I did not want to leave any more trouble for your family." Sarah rejected Rip's words with anger and said, "This is not true at all. Your arrival has brought happiness to all of us. Henry is happier now because you are with him and me. After your arrival, I have found the purpose of love and a new life." Sarah's emotional words touched Rip's heart deeply. For the first time, Rip realizes how important she is to him. A storm of emotions arises in his heart, and he asks Sarah a question, "Will you marry me?" Sarah says yes without any hesitation, and her face shines with joy. Both of them come out of the cave together. But as soon as they step out of the cave, the sky lights up with a bright flash of lightning. Sarah and Rip turn around and see that Rip's bag, which he had left in the cave, has disappeared from there. That bag somehow goes beyond time and returns to 1787. In the year 1787, Rip's father is walking in the jungle one day when he finds that bag. He finds a diary in the bag. When he turns the pages of the diary, he finds out about Rip's wonderful journey to the future. Every word in the diary says that Rip has seen a different world, a world that is beyond his understanding. Rip's father, while reading the story of his son, knows about the love and happiness of his life. Understanding this, his heart is filled with pride and peace that his son has achieved everything in his life that he ever wanted. With a smile on his face, he heads back to his village. On the other hand, in the year 2022, Rip and Sarah are now happily married. Together with Henry and Kelvin, they have lived a lovely and happy life. Their story proves that the bond of love and family can even cross the boundaries of time. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.